Hey, good morning, Choice Residential. Hope your day's off to a fantastic start. Today, I want to talk about going 3 layers deep when we're asking questions to buyers. There's this expression in real estate that buyers are liars. But, I've never really quite bought into that because I think what it really comes down to is that oftentimes real estate agents aren't asking enough questions. I think if we peel the onion back enough as we are talking with buyers about what they're looking for, what's important to them, then we will discover that buyers aren't liars. They just weren't given the opportunity to fully express what it was they are looking for or what it is that's important to them and why. So let me just give you an example. If a buyer says that they want a big yard, for example, well, we can't just write down on our sheet big yard. We need to understand, well, what does a big yard mean to you? Maybe they're coming from a place where they had zero point zero 0.08 of an acre, and so a quarter acre is going to be a big yard. Or maybe they're coming from 4 acres, and so that's their frame of reference. So we need to clearly understand and identify what is a big yard to them. But we don't want to stop there because the reality is they're moving. They're having some type of life transition. And the things that were important to them in the past, they may think are still important to them now, but that might not actually be the case. And if we can extract that information out early on, that's going to make your home search process much more pleasurable for you and for them. So instead of just identifying, well, what is a big yard to you? We need to ask things like, well, what does a big yard do for you? What would you use your yard for? Why do you want a big yard? What does it feel like to you when you and your family are engaging in using that big yard, however we've defined what a big yard is? So get them talking about that thing because they may discover that, well, they always had a big yard when their kids were at home, but maybe their youngest child is almost ready to leave for college. And as it turns out, they don't actually want to spend all their time mowing that big yard. But sometimes we need to help them unpack this kind of information. Or maybe they want to be in a specific location. You need to talk to them about what is it about that location that's important for them? What does being there do for them? How does that impact their commute, their quality of life, friends that they're hoping to make or that they already have? What is it that is actually important about that location? Because they may say, oh, well, it's the commute. Well, you, with your knowledge of the area, may say, well, have you ever considered this location? That maybe they can actually get more for their money there. So we need to start understanding the why behind the criteria that they're giving you and just continue asking questions to get them to talk more about it. This has another really important benefit, and that is if you have two buyers, if you have a couple, for example, that's purchasing a home, they may have different views on the same thing. Right? We want an open floor plan. Well, do we want an open floor plan or does she want an open floor plan and he actually doesn't care? Or do they have different definitions of what that big yard is or what location they actually want to live? Inside a neighborhood or outside of a neighborhood, what's important about that? Is it that they don't want restrictive covenants? Well, there are some neighborhoods that don't have restrictive covenants, or that don't have an HOA to enforce them. So we need to understand the why behind the criteria. So we call that going 3 deep. Anytime they tell you something, follow that with 3 questions that continue to peel the onion back further. That's going to help make your home search experience more fun for you and for them. If you have other tips on how to ask great questions with your clients to prove that buyers aren't liars, please put them in the comments below. We'd love to learn from your experiences as well. So as always, I'm just a phone call away. And until next time, take care.